It is October, and what is October known for? Pink ribbons. Do you have a problem with those like I do? Maybe the problem of the fact that we're supporting these women, but we're poisoning them with the same products that have the pink ribbons slapped on them. If this doesn't bother you, I want you to pay really close attention tonight, because maybe you don't know what I didn't know just a few years ago. Let's talk about carcinogens. What is a carcinogen? This is not a word that I was particularly familiar with just a few years ago. So the definition of a carcinogen is a cancer-causing substance or agent. Did you know these existed? Did you know that 90 to 95% of cancers are actually caused by things with carcinogens and not by the genes of the person? I saw a quote today that said something along the lines of genes load the gun, but toxic lifestyle and food pull the trigger. And it's so true. We control so much. We can control so much in our lifestyle that can make such a difference, but we aren't taught better. So let me show you what you can do better to give yourself a better chance of avoiding this kind of thing showing up in your own life. So what are some common carcinogens? These would include parabens, talc, fragrance, formaldehyde, petroleum, 1,4-dioxane, phthalates, and synthetic colors and dyes. And I can tell you right now, this list is not exhaustive. This is just some of the top ones that you'll find if you do an internet search. There are many other things that are labeled as carcinogens that if you went into a deep exhaustive study you would find. I don't want to keep you here deep and exhaustive tonight. So these are just some of the basics. So parabens, these have been found inside breast tumors. So what you want to watch out for specifically are things with methyl, propyl, butyl, or ethyl in the word. This is going to alert you that this is some kind of paraben, and you need to steer clear of that. One of the ways that we can be super helpful for ourselves and the health of those who live in our homes is to read labels. Reading labels and being a conscious consumer is a huge, huge thing. And it's not hard to do. It may seem overwhelming at first, but you're going to learn to catch those red flags that pop up on labels. Personally, I don't buy anything that comes off the shelf at Walmart or CVS, Walgreens, Target, anywhere like that. And it's not because I'm against those companies. My dad works for Walmart. I'm not against Walmart. But they put product out that is not good for us. So I'm not going to support them in that particular part of their business, if that makes sense. Then talc, this is found in baby powders, talcum powders, and even genital deodorant sprays, and it has been linked with ovarian cancer. We do not want to be covering our babies in cancer-causing products. We don't want to be covering ourselves in a cancer-causing product, and we especially don't want to be spraying it in our private areas because that skin is even more penetrable for those chemicals to get in there and do damage. Then also fragrance. This is in everything, and it can cover so many different cancer-causing things and just chemicals in general, because companies don't have to tell you what fragrance means because it's a trade secret. So they're basically like covered. They don't have to tell you. So according to a 1986 report, 99% of chemicals used in fragrances and synthetic compounds were derived from petroleum, including benzene derivatives, aldehydes, and other known toxic ingredients capable of causing cancer. And we're going to talk about petroleum down here in just a second. But steer clear of fragrance. That's just like the easiest way to protect yourself. It's one of like the simplest things you can do is just steer clear of things with fragrance. If you want something to smell nice, grab an essential oil, put it in whatever chemical-free, non-toxic thing you want to smell good, whether that's making yourself a perfume or adding it to Castile soap to make hand soap or body wash or a dish soap, whatever that may be. Then also formaldehyde. This is listed by the U.S. National Toxicology Program as a, quote, reasonably anticipated to cause cancer, end quote. And it's also listed in the European Union as a toxic and carcinogen. But this is allowed in our clothing, in our sheets, in our furniture. It's everywhere. And I'm not saying that we can totally avoid it, because y'all, I can't make my own clothes. Like, I cannot make the fabric to make my own clothes. Okay. I can't weave my own sheets or put together my own mattress. I mean, there are companies out there that make mattresses that are natural. But there are just some things that like aren't necessarily practical. And I know we cannot avoid every danger out there, and I'm not saying that's how we should live. Like, I refuse to live in fear of every danger that could potentially be in front of me, because fear is going to be just as unhealthy as the carcinogens themselves. Okay, that was a side note, but there you go, for what it's worth. Then also petroleum. Petroleum, we're talking like the same, it like comes from gas. Like when you think petrol and gas, petroleum, yes, same thing. So this is listed as a mineral oil, liquid paraffin, toluene, or petroleum, and petroproducts, which have been banned or restricted for use in cosmetics in other countries, but they're still allowed in ours. Like, why? Why, if other countries have found that these are so dangerous, why hasn't the FDA stepped up and said no, like this is not okay, and protected us? Just know, government agencies do not necessarily have your best interest at heart, okay? That may be kind of shocking to some people, but there's my other 2 cents. So these are found in lipsticks and lip balms and moisturizers of all kinds, and they may promote skin cancer tumor growth. So be careful what you're putting on your skin. Keep in mind that your skin is your largest organ, and whatever you put on your skin is then going to be in your body. Then also the 1,4-dioxane, the Environmental Working Group found that 97% of hair relaxers, 82% of hair dyes, 57% of baby soaps, 43% of body firming lotions, 36% of facial moisturizers, and 34% of body lotions contain 1,4-dioxane, which is a chemical byproduct produced in cosmetic manufacturing and a known carcinogen. To avoid it, you want to watch out for words like PEG, xylitol, cetereth, I don't even know, guys, but you can see it on the screen, and oleth, okay? So watch for things that end, more than likely end in those words. It's crazy what they allow in our stuff. Did you catch all the things that was in? Even baby products, guys, this one gets me mad. They put these things in our baby products. They tell us that they're safe for the baby, and they pump them full of chemicals that can cause cancer. I have a problem with that, and I hope you do too. Then also phthalates. These are especially popular in any kind of fragrance and perfumes, but they are in a lot of other things. And then synthetic colors and dyes. These contain coal tar, like coal that we would burn for heat or whatever, energy. They use the tar from that and put it in our makeup, and they color things with it, and we rub it on our skin, and it's insane to me that that's there. And most people don't know. Most people may never know. And that's one of the big reasons why I share these things with you, because it is out there, like you can find it, but it's not common mainstream put out there for everyone to know knowledge, and I think it should be. So all of that information I found on CV Skin Lab's blog and Pure Haven blog, and kind of compiled it from both those places, but I wanted to give them credit for the information that they did put out. So let's look at some statistics, and you may say some of these aren't particularly related to carcinogens, but I think chemicals, carcinogens, they're really hard to separate. So these are some statistics about both of them. 7 million toxic chemical poisonings are reported in the United States every year. Over 75% of those reports are children under the age of 6. That means that 5 million toddlers are harmed by things in their home every year in the US. That's crazy. There's so many things I want to say about that, but that's just crazy. 5 million toddlers should not be being poisoned every year because we don't know better. So when we know better, let's do better. Stay-at-home moms have a 54% higher chance of dying from cancer than a woman who works outside the home because she is exposed to the toxic environment in her home for longer hours each day. So why are we moms who are staying home and raising the next generation who's in the same toxic environment more at risk to get cancer? It's because of the products in our home. And that is not right. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm preaching, but this is one of my passion points. It bothers me that our homes are this dangerous. We moms work really hard to make our homes a safe place, a peaceful place, basically a haven from the outside crazy world that we live in. But unknowingly, we're poisoning our families. And 54%, that's a big number. Like that should not, I don't think the number should exist at all, but it definitely shouldn't exist and be that high. Then also the air inside our home is 5 to 10% more toxic than the air outside. You hear everyone talk about pollution and smog and all these things outdoors. Okay, let's focus on indoors first. Like that's where we are the majority of the time, especially as we come into fall and winter and it starts to get cooler. We're inside more. We need to be aware of this and do what we can. Then also childhood cancer is the number 2 cause of death of children in the US. Over 10,000 children a year. When my friend who put some of these stats together looked at it, she saw that the EPA, so the Environmental Protection Agency, released information admitting that there is a direct link between formaldehyde, okay, we talked about that, and childhood cancer. So that formaldehyde that's in your clothes and your mattress, and what else did we say it was in? We didn't. We just said it was toxic. Okay, so it's in all those things. And that is the number, or it's connected to the number 2 killer of children in our country. Just stop and think about that. Stop and think about that. So what about some foods? What we eat plays a huge role in our wellness as well. And I'm not going to talk about foods that cure cancer because I'm sure there are foods that help our body protect itself. I know there would be. But what I want you to see are the foods that feed that disease, okay? So alcohol. This is not good for us on any level, ever. It's a potentially addictive substance. It's filled with things that are nasty, which I'm sure include like food dyes and synthetic flavors and all sorts of nasty. I do not drink. I have never had a drop of alcohol, so I cannot tell you very much about it, but I guarantee those things are in there if you just think about what would have to make it up. Then also processed meats. This is not necessarily something you can never have. Like I have pepperoni on pizza. If I'm gonna have pizza, there's gonna be pepperoni. But to eat it in large amounts all the time, so fast food, things like pepperoni, chicken nuggets, if it's processed, okay? Just kind of think through some of those things as you're choosing what you eat. Then also refined carbs, sugar. Sugar feeds disease, and it especially feeds cancer. Cutting sugar is one thing that I will recommend to people off the bat every single time because sugar is not good for you. If you watched my video last week about tips when you're under the weather, cutting sugar was one of the things I recommended. And 2 teaspoons of sugar is going to shut your immune system down for 5 hours. You cannot tell me that when you're fighting cancer that you do not need a strong immune system. So stop with the sugar, or at least limit it extremely. I still splurge and have sugar in things. And there are natural sugars. Like natural sugars are not the problem. I'm talking white sugar, like brown sugar, all of the synthetic processed whatever that you find on the shelf, okay? There are replacements for those things that you can swap out. Stevia, erythritol, xylitol, I like the Pure brand personally. It's a stevia blend. It's great. It is a little different taste, but you get used to it. It actually is stronger than sugar, so you can use like half of what you would like. If I make a recipe of something that calls for a cup of sugar, I can do half a cup of Pure. It's a really strong substance. You can do straight up stevia on its own, which is super strong. But the Pure or like Truvia make it taste a little bit more like sugar because they blend it with some other things. When you get those, or if you get a stevia blend from like Aldi or Walmart, that's their own brand, watch for maltodextrin. If there's maltodextrin in it, you're not doing yourself any favors. You want something that does not have maltodextrin. Then microwave popcorn. Microwaves aren't great in the first place. I have not gotten rid of mine. I will be totally upfront with you about that. I haven't reached that point. But microwaves are not great for us. And then food that constantly has to be made in the microwave, also not a good idea. Like the popcorn has got to have bad colors in it. Probably some kind of fake buttery substance, also not good. Okay. And then food dyes. Food dyes are so bad on so many levels, but if they can cause cancer, then I don't need that color in my food. Like it gives it no flavor. Like you're not losing anything there. It's just making it look cute. What's the point? There is no point. Okay. So those are some things to be aware of. So let's replace these things because there are better options. I just gave you some swaps as far as the foods are concerned, but let's look at some of the other things that we put on our bodies and use all the time. So if you want to replace your makeup because it has talc or those synthetic colors or fragrances or whatever, then you can swap it out for Young Living's Savvy Mineral Makeup line. This makeup line is incredible. I love it. I've used it for between 3 and 4 years, the better part of 3 for sure. I just don't remember exactly when I got it after I joined Young Living. I've been in Young Living for almost 4 years, so I've been using the makeup for probably close to 3.5 years. We now have liquid foundation and concealer, and I love that. I started with their powder because that was all there was, but I really love the liquid and the coverage and can't think of the word, like appearance that gives. But they have all sorts of makeup, including clean lipstick and lip glosses and lip balm and our like personal care lines. It's all amazing. You can swap all that out for natural things. Then the personal care, you can swap out as well. So we have body gels, bar soaps, foaming hand soaps, shampoos and conditioners for different types of hair. So we have lavender for hair that needs volume. We have lavender mint for clarifying for greasy hair like mine. And then we also have Copaiba vanilla for hair that needs moisturizing. So all 3 of those just got recently reformulated. So great. Love them. It's great stuff. I'm trying not to make this super long. I could keep talking about it. Then also to switch out your cleaners and whatever toxic substances you have in your cabinets to clean your home, you can replace them all with Thieves Cleaner. So Thieves Cleaner comes in a bottle. It's a concentrated thing. You can take 1 cap full of it, pour it in 16 ounces of water, and you have a general cleaner for everything in your house. I put it in my mop. I have a mop where you can mix up your own solution, and it's a spray mop. I put it in my mop and do my floors. I put it in my carpet shampooer and shampoo my carpets with it. I clean my baby's toys with it. I clean my kitchen. I clean my bathroom. Everything with Thieves Cleaner. There are different recipes that all sorts of people have come up with or Young Living has put out where you can make like window and glass cleaner out of it specifically by adding some vinegar and a few other things. And you can make a soft scrub with it and some baking soda and water and some other oils if you want to add them. There are so many things that you can do with it. So you can replace every toxic cleaning substance in your home with Thieves Cleaner. Then if you want to swap out candles and wall plugs, anything, wax melts even, synthetic fragrances are bad for you. I really don't care how clean the company claims it to be. If it's a plug, a candle, or a wax, there's something in there that's not good for you. My personal opinion, okay? I'm not hating on people who sell those or whatever. But I'm just saying, I personally don't believe that they're clean enough to have in my home. So in that case, I use my oils and a diffuser. and you can customize your blends. They actually run cheaper in the long run than candles in general. So, there's that aspect too. And you're going to get health benefits from the oils themselves. And then also switching out your perfumes. I think this might have been in a different slide, but I'm not looking at the slide while I'm teaching. So you can swap out your perfumes for oils. I've done 2 different DIY nights here at my house in the last year where we've made our own perfumes, and they came out great. We all love them. You can customize the scent to you, or you can follow recipes that you can find online. They're amazing. So those are some healthy swaps that you can make. Definitely not an exhaustive list of the swaps that you can make with Young Living, or even there are just more natural options. Like I said, Castile soap, unscented Castile soap from a reputable source. You can take that and make gel hand soap out of it. You can add some water and make a foaming hand soap out of it. You can use it like a bath gel. You can use it as a dish soap. There's lots of ways you can use that. And then if you want, you can add oils to it to scent it for the different things. We just made a pumpkin spice hand soap at our most recent DIY. We did like we filled the container a third of the way with Castile soap, added the oils, topped it off with water. You're good to go. It's super simple. Like, this does not have to be a hard, complicated, or expensive thing. So let's be proactive right now. Every week I tell you how to get the things that I've talked about and implement these changes into your home. So scan that QR code. You can grab whatever you want on subscription. Okay, you can use that search bar on Young Living's website. You can find any of our products there, or you can go to the categories tab and find them in a category. Add whatever you want, put it on subscription so that you unlock that 24% discount. Don't worry about getting locked into something you're not. You can just as easily take everything off subscription after the order and you're fine. Or you can leave it there and customize it every month, however you want to do that. That subscription program gives you the 24% off, and then also a bunch of other perks, which I'll put up here on the screen. And it also gives you the chance to earn the loyalty rewards on top of that. So that's this week's content. I hope that you guys see that it's important to be aware of what we're consuming and putting on our bodies, and that there are simple and easy, cost-effective switches we can make to improve our health and the health of the next generation. We will talk again next week, and we'll be talking about healthy emotions.